People have asked me how in the world did I publish a book, and again, this was I'm a co-author with my mom, and my mom did some of the groundwork as well. We both did groundwork together, and what I can tell you is that it's not straightforward, and there are a lot of different paths to becoming an author and becoming published. And so I'm going to do my best to unpack some of that over the course of subsequent videos. Um, but I want to kind of start at the beginning, because I think a lot of times when you talk about authorship and being published, it can seem very almost like high level, and sometimes things need to be really broken down. And I know for me personally, I needed things broken down in a way. And so I actually used YouTube for many, many years to learn a whole lot. And so I'm happy to give back in this format. But so if you are a black person in America or a black person in the world, I'm here to tell you that your experience with publishing and even just understanding the value of your story may be a little bit different. And in terms of why I chose to call this video how to become a published black author, as opposed to just calling it how to become an author or how to become published. Why am I qualifying black? Why am I putting an emphasis on you being black? Well, because our experience in this country and in the world is, we have our own unique experience, and obviously we are not a monolith. We know that, but we also have some similarities, which is how we build community and trust amongst ourselves. And so I'm here to talk a little bit about some of the things that might be similar. So to start at the top, I mean, if you are thinking about becoming an author and becoming published, that means that you have a story that you may think is compelling or significant, something you want to share. And there may not be a market for what it is that you want to share. I just listened to an amazing audiobook the other day, and the young woman was talking about how when she wanted to publish her book, she was told to change it in certain ways to fit the market. And she decided to move forward and do it in her own way, and it worked. And I think there is a very small market for it. And that's kind of the point. When my mom and I published our children's book, there were very few books about schizophrenia, even less books about children's books about schizophrenia, even less or probably no books about schizophrenia that feature black people and people of color for children. That was like dang near unheard of, and probably still is. So if there's no market for it, create the market. Okay? That's what I believe. So, another thing is that as a black person, I mean, you can go your entire life or most of your life, and very few people will tell you that, wow, your story is so unique. You should write this down. You should publish it. You should put it out there. You should share it. That's a narrative that you may not hear that often. There are going to be some people who normalize the struggles that you're going through. You might normalize some of those struggles. And so whether you have a story of tragedy or triumph or both, you may not think it's that unique. You may think that, oh, well, everyone goes through this, and most black people experience this, so why should I write about it? There might not be a lot of momentum around you documenting, archiving, and preserving your story. And I'm here to tell you that books and just this idea of archiving your story is so important, because guess what? Your story, your book will outlive you. And so I want to encourage you, if you have a story, if you have something you want to share, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, to push forward and document it. Write it down, whether that's in a book or in another format. So, again, I'm starting at the top. Again, the topic is how to become a published black author. And number one, you have to believe in your story. You have to see it valuable, worthy, and compelling enough to push forward and produce, regardless of if anyone around you thinks that you should document it, record it, and publish it. You may have to be open to alternative publishing routes, because again, some of those big name publishers will want there to be a market. And you might be thinking, well, I'm going to create the market. However, that might not work for some of those big name publishers. You might have to be willing to go with a local publisher, like my mom and I did. You might have to be willing to self-publish, like I'm currently doing right now. So again, I'm going to be talking more about this topic, but I just want to highlight that if you have a story, share it. Believe in it. Trust the process. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on IG. Hopefully you can check out my website, and I will be putting that information in the description. And looking forward to sharing more about how to become a published Black author. Thanks for listening.